Welcome. Welcome to practice. We're going to begin kneeling, and it's important to have enough support under your sit bone so that your knees don't hurt. And if your knees do hurt when you kneel, then sit with your feet out in front. And so I'm going to take a blanket and even double it over shoe blocks or a little stool, feet tucked right in underneath you and feet parallel. So it shouldn't hurt your knees, and if it does, sit with your feet out. Bring the hands onto the feet or the floor near the feet and press the heels of the hands down towards the floor. And you'll feel the whole chest, the ribs lift, shoulder blades reaching down, top of the head reaching up. Hero pose, Virasana. And feel the breath in that proud pose. Good. We're going to make some moves to leaning back a little bit in the posture. So we'll do it one side at a time. Left arm reaches up by your ear, and then reach it back as far as you can onto the floor behind. And just see if you can lean back a little bit. And then reach the right arm up by the right ear and reach it back. Now, if you find that your back just doesn't want to do that, come back to upright where you're able to manage. And reaching that right hand back. But you might find that you can keep reaching your arms a little bit further back each time. Maybe you find a spot that feels like, okay, that's enough. And reaching the arms like a backstroke movement for the arms. I've run out of room here. There's a dining room. Beautiful. And then we'll come back up to upright. Nice work. Take the arms out from your shoulders now and palms up, little circles. And when you're making those circles, try to reach your thumbs as far back as they'll go. So concentrating on that backward edge of the movement and shoulder blades relaxing down. Finding your breath. Feel the work of the core of your body, lifting and supporting the spine. So you might feel the lower front abdomen squeezing towards the spine. And bring the shoulder blades down so you feel relaxed between your shoulder blades and at the back of your neck. Feeling the flow of breath. Beautiful work. And releasing. We're going to kneel on all fours now. So release from your Virasana. All fours with hands forward, knees back a little bit, and make some spinal waves. So your knees are bending as you need, your elbows are bending as you need to find those supple movements of the joints between each vertebra. Nice work. And we're going to lay down onto the tummy and hands underneath your shoulders. Press your feet, the tops of your feet, powerfully into the floor. Squeeze the buttock muscles. Lift the breastbone, elbows in, elbows back, and lift the torso off the floor, looking up. As you lower down, lengthen the front ribs. You feel a little bit longer than when you left the floor. And then powerfully again in the legs and the buttocks and the thighs. Elbows in, elbows back, and lifting up again. Good. And then again, lengthening. And one more. Lifting the torso, powerful leg. Good. And then rolling over onto your back. We're going to press the lower back into the floor. So you might feel that back part of your core was what was lifting your torso off the floor when we were lying face down. But now, press that into the floor. Feel the front part of the core engage. Good. We want to squeeze the belly to the spine. Lift the feet all the way off the floor and feel how the core is working to hold you stable here. Good. Take your arms up from your shoulders. We're going to gently swing the legs a little to the left, arms a little to the right, and then back to center. Make sure you're connecting the skin of your spine or your lower back to the floor. And then swing the knees a little bit to the right and the arms a little bit to the left, and then back to center. Good. And we're going to go from side to side. Tuned in to the breath, into that lovely strengthening work in the core of the body. Back of the core, the front, the side, the whole core. Good. And then hug your knees into your chest. And relaxing the belly. Take the knees out wide. Belly relaxes, and you feel how the back, lower back is pressed onto the floor. Even rock a little bit from side to side. Nice. Roll over again, and this time we'll be in forward virasana. So taking your kneeling position towards the back of the mat, toes, big toes touching. Take the knees wide so there's plenty of room for the belly to feel comfortable, and reach the arms forward. Connect to the flow of your breath. It probably feels a little bit deeper here. In the same way that we felt that spaciousness of the rib cage when we were sitting in the kneeling position upright. Feel the spaciousness of the rib cage here in the forward position. Feeling the breath fill right out to every corner of the lungs, the ribs, the back of the ribs. Nice work. And then come up into all fours. Position your hands so your fingers are out nice and wide. Press your fingerprints, tuck the toes under, and come up into downward facing dog pose. We're going to let the head just hang down. Take the heels up high and bend your knees. Lift your hips high. So feel the stretch in the feet, the work in your hands, and the flow of breath. So you could feel the breath getting into every corner of the body. Mm, nice work. And then press your heels to the floor. Lift up onto the balls of the feet again. Bend your knees. Lift the hips high. And then press the heels again. Good. And then we're going to walk the feet forward and try and press your heels towards the floor. Take little steps. And at some point, you run out of room and then roll up. Arms up. Look up. Good. And then Tadasana. Now we're going to practice our standing to kneeling, and having a chair, seat of a chair, can be very useful for helping you with your balance. You don't have to use it. You can use your hands on the floor. I'm going to use the chair. And the other thing that's nice to have is a blanket. So when you put your knees down, it's soft. All right. If for some reason your knees don't want to bend all the way to kneeling, what you can practice is putting your hands on the chair and taking the knees as close to the floor as you can, keeping your feet and your legs parallel, and then lifting back up. You could either do a forward bend here to stretch your hamstrings, or you can lift all the way up. So we just want to practice that movement of knees close to the floor. And then back up. Good. Now, if you can kneel all the way down, kneel, knees onto the floor, and sit back onto your heels. I've got my toes tucked under for an extra foot stretch here, but you can flatten your feet if you like. Good. Then we're going to lift up. What I want you to do is, instead of pushing forward and putting your pressure into your hands to push yourself up, try to keep your weight back over the heels and take the heels back to the floor. So you're sort of lifting up from a squatting position. Okay, now I've got my legs parallel. The other thing you could adjust is to take the heels out a bit wider and turn the toes out, if that feels better on your knees. So play around with it. Basically, we want to get from standing to kneeling, and from kneeling by rolling back over the heel, coming up to standing, and keep going. Seem to need the chair just to keep my balance when I roll back over my feet. You might not need it. Try also, I've just realized a trap, to do the legs evenly. Do we feel like we want to take one dominant side and then the other? Beautiful. And release. I know, that's hard work. All right. You can leave your chair at the front of your mat. We're going to be stepping forward and back on the mat. I'm not going to use mine today. I'm going to come into Tadasana, feet under the hips, legs parallel. Feel that nice big lift in the front of your leg. When you do that, the quadricep muscles are really supporting the knee joints. Lifting the belly, lifting the breastbone, top of the head. Sending the tailbone down so the curves of your spine feel long. Inhale, arms up, lift the ribs. And then halfway into your forward bend, put your hands up on your legs. And really relax your upper body. Even make a little gentle wriggle around. You can feel that the spine is relaxed even though you've bent forward. And you might already start to feel the pull of the stretch in the back of the leg. That's fine, but we'll keep the back nice and relaxed. Look forward. Lengthen the belly forward, lift the breastbone forward. And then start to stretch the back of your leg. Like straightening. If you're used to always doing one at a time, try doing both, and it doesn't matter if they don't go all the way. Just noticing that intense feeling of the hamstring stretching. Lift your kneecaps. The spine is relaxed. Good, and then bend your knees and rolling up, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Good. And then Uttanasana. So put your hands now either on the seat of your chair or the floor. Step your left foot back so that the heel touches down, left heel touches down. We're going to bend and straighten the front leg. And as you do that, try to find that ease in your spine again. Slow the movement down, connect to the flow of your breath. Enjoy finding where you can stretch the legs, even if they don't feel like they're actually stretching, but there's an intensity of resistance, finding that with the flow of the breath, reaching into every corner of the body, along the easeful spine, through the intense stretch of the leg. Press the back heel through the sole of the foot. Good, and then we're going to lift up, swing the left foot forward and balance on the right foot. Good, take your balance, hold, whatever feels like it's challenging you just enough. Find the lengthened curves of your spine, spaciousness, the breath reaching into every corner of the body. Good. And then release. Tadasana. Inhale under. And as you exhale, Uttanasana. Good. We'll step the right foot back. And we're going to keep the heel on the floor and bend and straighten the front leg. And as you start exploring the travel of the breath in the body, look for that easy feeling in your spine. It's easier to find that when the leg is bent, so use that part of the movement to relax the back. When the leg is straight, of course, everything becomes a little more tense. Welcoming both the tension and the ease. Beautiful. We're going to just step forward, lift up, balance on the left foot now, taking your balance forward. As you challenge yourself, standing on one leg, find the graceful lengthened curves of your spine, the core of the body supporting the lift. Feel your center of gravity. Nice work. Feet back under the hips into Tadasana, mountain pose. Urdhva Hastasana and Uttanasana. Now this time we're going to take the left foot back for Trikonasana. You're going to line up the center of the left foot in an arch with the right heel. And your feet are about your own leg length distance apart. Nice. Keep your hands on your support, the chair or the floor. Notice how the left hip is facing down to the floor. The torso is facing down to the floor. And just play around with bending and straightening that right leg again. Mm. Ooh, appreciating both the tension and the ease. Find your long spine, the breath reaching into every corner of the body. Beautiful. Now, what we're going to do is put the right hand on the right leg and lift the torso, even if you have to lift almost all the way up, until you can draw your left hip back into a line with your feet, the left shoulder in line with your feet, even if you feel like you're almost upright, to get that lovely sense of alignment. Beautiful. Lengthen both sides of the waist, and then we'll take the left arm up. If for some reason that's not working with your shoulder or your neck, put your hand on your hip. You might be able to look up at the ceiling. And then start to explore whether you can indeed reach your spine a little further over your right leg by making the right hip crease deeper. Feel the breath in the whole body, creating length, spaciousness, stretch. Donna. Beautiful. Swing your left arm forward to the front of the mat, face forward. Swing your back foot forward so that we can lift up, step forward, swing the left leg in front, stand onto the right leg, and take a balance challenge. Whatever kind of hold you're doing, take the left knee out to the side. Now, to the left side. And back to center. Good. And then releasing that side. Feet under the hips. Thumbs up. Lift the rib. Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, Uttanasana. We'll take the right foot back for Trikonasana. So you're lining up your right inner arch with the left heel. Keep your hands on the floor or the seat of the chair if you're using the chair. And try to straighten and bend your left leg. Realizing both the tension and the ease. Feeling the breath in every corner of the body. Good. Straighten your leg and start to lift up. And we want to bring the right hip all the way back into the same plane as the feet. So keep sliding the left hand up the left thigh until you can find that feeling. Right hip in the plane of the feet, and the right shoulder reaching back into the plane of the feet. Good. And then start to explore sliding the left hand back down the left leg. Legs are strong and straight. You're aware of the feet, of their agility. Good. And if it's okay for your shoulder, because we're going to turn the ribs a little more, lift the heart, right rib, reach back. Take the right arm up, look up. Feet and legs holding us solid. Upper body opening towards the ceiling, the sky, and reaching into your Trikonasana, deepening the left hip crease. Beautiful. Swing the right arm to the front of the mat. Good. Step forward, lift up, and balance onto your left leg. Taking your balance challenge. Lengthening the curves of the spine. This time the right knee goes out to the right side, the hips facing forward. Feeling the breath into every corner of the body, lengthening the spine. And back to center. And releasing. Ooh. Nice work. I'm going to face forward so you can see this from the front. We'll have the feet under the hips, hands at the belly. Bend the knees a little bit, nice soft knees, but long, strong spine and core. Left leg steps behind. Now you can keep your left tiptoes on the floor. You could hold on to the back of a chair if you're feeling very wobbly. Good. And lift the back toes off the floor if you can. Otherwise, keep them on the floor. All right. Now we're going to lift the left hip so the belly button faces to the left side. Back to center. Should feel nice and wobbly in your right hip. Good. And then drop the left hip and face the belly button to the right. Beautiful. Back to center. 2 more each side. Good. Appreciating all those wobbles. Feeling the breath. The whole body. All of the edges. Even the skin. Beautiful. And back to center. When you're done, Tadasana. It's pretty powerful. You will really feel it in your stabilizing muscles of your leg you were just standing on, your right leg. Appreciate 2 feet on the floor. And the breath right out to the edges of the body. All right, soften your knees a little bit. Right leg behind. So you can see why it could be useful to keep your toes on the floor or lift them up. Hands here at the hips. Lifting the right hip, turning the belly to the right. Back to center. And dropping the right hip, turning the belly to the left. And keep going. 2 more each side. Oh, I forgot to do it on the first side. It's a bigger ask of the body if you stretch your arms out from your chest. There's more weight for the hip to work with. So only do that if you're managing. Those hands back, closer to your center of gravity. Beautiful. Flying. And then releasing. We're going to give our upper back and neck a bit of a relax. All that struggle in the core and the standing leg can transfer tension up the spine. So let's take Garudasana arms, right arm over the left. And you're trying to hold your thumb or even face your palms here. Sometimes there just isn't the reach there. You can embrace your shoulders. Whatever you hold, drawing the shoulder blades down and feel how the back of your neck is longer and more relaxed then. A little lift of the breastbone now, looking up. And we keep that lovely little back bend in the upper back. And then forward bend. Letting your head just hang down. Mm. Mm. And then rolling up, releasing your arm. Take the other cross of the arms, left upper arm over the right. See if you've got a reach on that side to hold your thumb or face your palms, or else hold your shoulders. And number one in this pose is draw the shoulder blades down to feel that ease in the back of the neck. A little bit of a lift of the chest, shining the heart upwards, and keep that beautiful back bend and spacious heart center as you fold forward now. Feeling the breath into the edges of the body, relaxing your neck. Good, and then rolling up and releasing your arms. Nice. We're going to sit down now. You can practice your sitting without using your hands, or sitting using your wisdom and your hands so that you don't fall. We're going to take a simple seat. Like we did at the beginning of the class in the kneeling position, take some backstroke movement. Left arm reaches back, right arm reaches back. You might be able to lean back a little bit now that your feet are out in front of you. Good. Position your hands so your arms are sort of parallel. You might have your fingers facing out here. And lift the breastbone. Draw the shoulder blades towards the waist, the back of the neck as well. And feel the ribs expand with the breath. Shine the heart center upward. Upward. Nice. See if you can keep that back bend feeling and walk your hands in so you start to bring your torso more forward of the hips. Maybe there's a resistance there and you can't really reach forward of the hips, but keep your back bend and try to bring the breastplate, the bony protection over your heart further forward and relax the back of the neck. Some people have a lot of forward movement here, so take your forward bend. But don't lose that lovely back bend feeling. Don't lose the spaciousness of the chest. Put your hands where they make sense for your kind of movement. Feeling the breath into all of the edges of the body, the surface of the skin, to the organs, Good, and then lifting yourself up so you can change the cross of the leg. So other leg on top or in front. And let's make our back bend first, our back stroke back bend. So one arm at a time. And do a couple of those. We start to free up movement in ribs. Good. And then your hands are back. Put your hands where they're comfortable, maybe fingers out at 45 degrees, and lifting the breastbone. Feeling that spaciousness around the heart center. Shining upward, shining outward. And keep that lovely shape and come into your forward bend. So that might mean you're still quite upright. You're trying to reach your breastbone a little forward of the line of the hips or even further forward towards the floor. But really honoring that spaciousness around your heart. That's more important here than how far forward you reach. Feeling that spaciousness as you breathe. Good. And then releasing, coming up so that you can lay down on your back. Hug your knees in, pressing your lower back to the floor. Good. We're going to lift the hips and swing them to the right and knees go left. So the feet are off the floor. If for some reason you need to put them on the floor, do that. But we're aware of the core of the body here. Lift your knees and your feet just off the floor. Relax your neck, body. And feel the breath into the edges of the body, deep into the core of the body. And lift your legs, lift your hips, swing them left, and knees go right. And you can hover your knees and your feet just off the floor. Left shoulder blade on the floor. Whoa, feel the breath into the core of the body. The reach of the fingers, the toes reaching out. The top of the head. And back to the core as you lift your leg. Nice work. Recenter. Take happy baby pose. Feel how that relaxes your back. Your whole spine can lengthen and relax. Chest, neck, hold. Hold gently with your hands. Even the fingers and the toes are relaxed. Feel the spaciousness of the breath. Massaging the organs. Beautiful. Releasing. Either laying yourself out for your own Shavasana. Namaste to you. Or if you need to finish your practice now, rolling to your side and then coming up to sitting. Hands at the heart. Feeling the breath in the core of the body. Right out to the skin. The feeling of the practice. Namaste. Mm. Thank you.